Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the vast, kind of dark ocean of the unconscious mind. We're going to explore the hidden forces that shape exactly who you are, how you act, and, well, what you fear. So, who is secretly controlling your life? I know. It sounds like a wild conspiracy theory, right? But what if I told you that the life you're living right now, the decisions you make, and even your most intense emotional reactions might not actually be coming from your conscious self? What if a massive part of your identity is literally being pulled by unseen psychological strengths? Section 1. The mask you wear constructing the persona. Okay, let's dive right into this. To really understand these unseen forces, we've got to start at the very beginning, with the identity you show to the world. Carl Jung, the brilliant pioneer of depth psychology, called this the persona. You see, from the moment we enter the world, we're conditioned by our childhoods, by society. Just think back for a second. Were there ever moments where you expressed yourself freely, only to be told, hey, stop being so sensitive, or that certain emotions were just unacceptable? We adapt, right? We learn to suppress those parts of ourselves. Basically, our inner self puts on a smiling, agreeable mask just so we can function and be accepted by the world around us. But if the persona is what we proudly show in the light of the external world, what happens to everything else? Well, it becomes the shadow. This is the hidden basement of our psyche. Because the things we push away, they don't just magically vanish just because we refuse to look at them. No way. They get stored away, operating completely beneath the surface of our awareness. Section 2. Meet your hidden shadow, the unconscious basement. So let's walk down the stairs into that metaphorical basement of the mind. What exactly gets banished into this dark, dusty space? Well, it's packed with some pretty heavy luggage. We're talking repressed childhood fears, unspoken desires, and our deepest vulnerabilities. But here's the really fascinating twist. It doesn't just hold our so-called evil or dark traits. It also contains our untapped potential and hidden strengths. Seriously? Passions you convinced yourself were impractical or wrong, they get locked down here right alongside your deepest insecurities. And the thing is, you just cannot keep it down forever. The source material uses this brilliant metaphor. It's like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. You can push it down with all your might, but the more force you use, the more violently it will eventually resurface. You literally cannot drown the shadow. When you can no longer keep it suppressed, it explodes right into your conscious life. Section 3. When the shadow escapes, the leak and projection. So, what actually happens when this hidden self refuses to stay buried? Well, it leaks out into our everyday lives, and often in ways we don't even recognize. One of the most common ways the shadow escapes is through what's called projection. This is an unconscious defense mechanism. When we disown parts of ourselves, we often see those exact traits in other people, and they totally amplify our emotional reactions. Think about it. If you are deeply, deeply disturbed by a specific quality in someone else, it's incredibly likely that that same quality exists right there within your own shadow. Now, what's really interesting about this is how it plays out in real life. Let's look at a simple personal example. Imagine you've got a coworker who is extremely overconfident, and it absolutely infuriates you. Why the intense irritation? Well, this reaction is often a mirror. If you struggle with feelings of inadequacy, you might criticize someone else who excels or seems arrogant, simply because it highlights your own suppressed, hidden desire to be noticed and step into the spotlight. Let's look at another deeply relatable example, the disproportionate fear of rejection. Someone might seek constant harmony, avoiding conflict at all costs, completely terrified of being judged. But is it really about the current situation? Often, no. It stems from a shadow aspect, an unacknowledged wound from childhood where they felt unseen or unworthy. The shadow is essentially running the whole shebang from behind the scenes, dictating their current behavior out of an old buried fear. Carl Jung actually summed this up with a truly profound thought. He said, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves." It completely proves that our triggers, our frustrations, and those sudden emotional outbursts are actually treasure maps. They're leading us directly back to our hidden selves, practically begging us to pay attention. Section 4. Integrating your dark side. The journey to wholeness. So we know about the mask we wear, and we've met the shadow that leaks out. How do we stop fighting this dark side and actually start working with it? Well, Jung called this ultimate goal individuation. It's the psychological journey of integrating all aspects of yourself, the light and the dark, the good and the bad.
You see, the goal of human growth isn't about achieving some flawless, perfect persona. It's about completeness. It's about becoming your authentic self by finally accepting the messy, shadow parts of your humanity.
So how do we actually do this in practice? Step 1 is practicing radical honesty, totally without filtering or judging yourself. Step 2, notice your emotional triggers. When you feel a disproportionate reaction to something, just pause. Ask yourself, what does this reveal about me? And step 3, which might sound a little crazy, but trust me, it works, start an internal dialogue. You can even do this through journaling. Ask your shadow, what are you trying to protect me from? You've got to make it feel seen and heard.
And this brilliantly illustrates just how massive the difference is. A life spent fighting the shadow, it's exhausting. It leads to anxiety, self-sabotage, and projecting all your anger onto others. But embracing it, that leads to reclaimed energy and genuine purpose. The source material notes that a suppressed anger, once it's actually accepted, can become a powerful driving force for advocacy and justice. You literally reclaim the energy you used to spend hiding.
So the crucial point is, it all comes back to this famous quote: knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darkness of other people. When you finally embrace your own flaws and fears, you develop incredible compassion for yourself, which naturally, just organically, extends to everyone around you. Shadow work transforms not just you, but your entire relationship with the world.
I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought to carry with you today. Look within. Not just at the parts of yourself you're proud of, but the parts you've locked away in the basement. What is your shadow trying to teach you right now? The journey to your true self is a lifelong process, for sure, but it begins the exact moment you turn around, face the darkness, and simply start listening.